guys and girls? Hello! And children of oh so many ages. Jokester here! Yay, Jokester! Bringing you another episode of Project Ozone 2 Reloaded. We are up to episode number 7 already. Yay! Well, we have done just a couple of things. What I did over here, you can see the mob drops nice and busy working along, and so it's filling up with stuff. Look, I got 2 legendary loot bags. Let's just take those for right now. And then a whole bunch of other stuff, including ender pearls, which is always good. And then what I have is I have a filter in here. And that's okay that the filter is going to fill up with stuff to start out with, but that's okay. So I put in all the normal ones except for legendary, right? I don't necessarily need legendary over in the compactor. So very simple, straightforward stuff. You can put that back in, take those out, put that back in here, and it'll be ready for the next time I take that filter out. And so what it's doing is it's adding all these and compressing them up to the uncommon. Once it gets 4 of the uncommons, it takes it up to the rare. Once it gets rare, it takes it up to epic. And once it gets all 4 epic, it takes it up to legendary. So we've got several of these guys. Let's just see what's in them. Wow, how uninspiring. And even worse. Okay, let's try these 3 guys. Let's see here. Another jade. Iron horse armor could care less. Diamonds are okay. I mean, these will help in the future when we do Botania, and lapis is always helpful, but I'm just not impressed with these legendary. Oh my gosh, that is just miserable. So, not looking so good. I don't know how the taking it all the way up to to legendary is going to fare, but you know, whatever. I did actually use this iron pickaxe for my other world interaction upgrade, but yeah, you know, let's put some of these more in here. Let's take that. There's jade there. Oh, diamond horse armor. I really don't want that. Iron helmet. I have so much iron, I'm throwing it away at this point, but definitely not. Let's throw those away. And iron horse armor. Okay, looks good. And let's put these guys on. Little inventory cleanup. Pardon me while I take care of business. Okay. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff in my inventory because I have been preparing. Well, I just harvested all those ender pearls, looking good. Okay, so what we have here so far is we've got 2 magmatic dynamos feeding into this basic universal cable from Mechanism. And remember that required steel. We made steel with the chainmail. Very simple to do early game. And I've got 3 of these automatic sieves. I did make myself a sag mill and an alloy smelter, and I needed both of those to make some of the more advanced iron or ingots, the alloys, just to work my way all the way up to octadic capacitor. One thing though is that if you look at the recipe on these guys, why did that do that? That's not what I wanted. Recipe there. If you look at the recipe, it makes 2 of these at a time, which is interesting, and also 2 of these. But when you get down to the single layer, it only makes 1 of them, and it's also more expensive because it takes a full gold ingot instead of a nugget. So beware of that. These are very costly, but then once you get to here, it's really nice because they're doubled. So I made 8 of these and then turned 4 of them into here, and I ended up with a whole bunch of octadic capacitors. So which is all good because we're going to use them. So that's just here for our use to sag mill. I had to do the coal and so on. But what I want to do first is I want to kind of lay down the pattern that I came up with for power. And so that's going to go all the way there. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw down, I'm going to need some power here, because what I want to do is I want to put down our compactors. And the compactors are going to go right here. And so the concept is that we'll feed in dust, sand, and gravel into here, and then it's going to come out, and that's what I needed to make the item conduits, and that's why I needed the sag mill and alloy smelter and such. Well, technically just the alloy smelter. So I've got those configured, but I don't want these guys to interoperate, to communicate. So I want all of the gravel stuff to go in here because I have a finite amount of space. Same thing with all the sand. I want it to go all into here, finite amount of space. So what I can do is I can turn that on, insert, and let's get that guy right there, and insert. Okay, so now that's going to come out of here, and then we've got to do something with it. So if I were to throw 3 more of these guys on here, and I do want these to connect, because they can all go to the exact same spot. So I'm going to extract all of those, and I'm going to put my wonderful alloy smelter right there, and we're going to set that guy to insert. Right, so now it's going to extract from here, insert into here. And there's going to be some issues with this, and if we set our diamond chest down right here, you see I've already configured it with a output, and so what'll happen is everything that comes into here, it'll drop down into this space, and then it will export out here and go right into the alloy smelter. And I'm going to throw one of those in there, give me some energy, and then it will smelt it up and dump it into this chest. That's what we'll do for right now. And of course, we have no way to automatically get stuff into there. I could crush it with the sag mill, but we'll see what that looks like from automating that standpoint in the future, whether we want to do the sag mill or one of the thermal expansion guys. So let's grab a stack of, let's see, 7 of those, and stack of that's fine. And then my dust I've been dumping in here for lack of any better storage. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which order we put these in, but I'm going to just go from left to right. So in here, I'm going to put that in there. In here, you saw this last episode, so nothing special here. And so that'll work, and start cranking out its stuff, right? You see there, it goes into here, and we start working on compacting those, right? Well, waiting for it to get enough to compact it. And the way these are set up is just default. Try 2x2 first. And that's because some of the things I want, like bone meal and redstone, it'd be nice to have them in blocks just from a stacking standpoint. We might change this in the future because I think I'm going to do compacting drawers like right over here, and I'll just pull them right off of this line and just do a whole row of compacting drawers. So that might work. So it's going to take a minute. Oh, we just got our first piece. Excellent. And that is smelting up, and we're already starting to dump in here. Pretty straightforward, right? So I did make 2 of these, so I could have one of those guys. There we go. Now, these guys are obviously making 160 RF, and so I've got 320. It should be plenty more than enough. This is only using 100 RF here. This is using another 100 RF, so that's 200 plus whatever these guys are using. I don't think, oh, okay, 40. So another 120. So there's 200, 320, and that's how much this is using. As soon as, well, and then I've got some power here. It doesn't tell us how much it's using, so in theory, I could fall behind. But it all depends how often this runs. You notice this isn't running that often. It really does its business and then is done. So I think we're going to be able to stay ahead. All right. These guys are still filling up buffers. That guy's full and that guy's full. So I'm thinking that these should start filling up here any minute. Yeah, that's starting to go down. It's pretty much staying steady. Same thing with this, and same thing with this. So we'll monitor this closely. All we have to do is just, and realize the cables have a lot themselves. The cables have 383,000, so almost 400,000 that needs to fill up the cables. And so it looks like those are filled up, and there we go. Now we're filling these guys up. So we should have a surplus of energy. So we should be fine for right now, only because this isn't running very often. As soon as I start cranking on this, I start putting speed upgrades in here. Yeah, that's gonna crush our power. And we can expand horizontally, basically in parallel, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with probably a different tactic. So that's all good. Let's go check over here. Our fluid cows. I've been doing some culling. I've been weaning the herd. So I still got the creosote. I kept the mana-infused metal. I've got the biofuel, molten copper, molten glass. I don't know. I might do something with that. It's a lot of work just to get glass when we can do sand really easily. And then molten brass. So we can set up an automated concept to milk each of these, and then I don't know, pour it into a cast, into a block, dump that out into a chest, and it'd be automated production, albeit kind of slow. So check this guy. Got another legendary loot bag. Any more? Got another one here. Let's give this one more go. Not inspiring, guys. Got a overgrowth seed, which is cool for Botania, but as you can see, because I've been killing cows, I've got steak now, which is okay, I guess. I mean, it's good. You know, it's better. All right, and then this guy goes up here. All right, so the next thing I want to work on is going to require a little bit of prep. So if you give me some time, I will come right back and we'll continue on. Let's go over here, pop that in there. I have it output to the left here, just have it push, dumps into this drain, and then I can right click on that and it will fill that up. I had a little bit in there from the previous bucket and that drops out, and I can right click that, or I can of course hit that and it will dump all those guys out. So very cool. And now I have electrum ingots, which I can actually make. Let's see if I can find it in here. Right here, I can make the flux electrum ingot because there is a flux hammer. Let's see, what kind of hammers do I have? Yeah, this guy, the flux infused hammer, and that requires 2 of those ingots. And some of flux infused obsidian rods and flux crystals, and you know, should be fairly simple, but I need a flux or fluid transposer. Next thing we want to do is let's go over and take care of this mob drop area. So we are going to be getting a bunch of crap in here. Things like these stone swords, which have no durability per se in this pack. These bows and so on. Now the bows, of course, won't necessarily match it because match a filter because they're going to have different NBT data. So we're going to need the advanced one, but for that we need the slice and dice to make the Z-Logic controller. But what we can do is we can place down the trash can, and I'll have to move this guy. Oh, that's fine, and we'll put it in here, and I forgot to grab a conduit. Now I could also use one of these transfer nodes, but I've now taken the step to create an alloy smelter, so I'm going to leverage this. And so we'll put this in here, and we want it on the extract, and so we'll grab things like stone swords and this, and there can be other things like I'm going to be getting a lot of this sulfur dust, but I want to build up a little bit of it first. But in the meantime, I'm just going to do, I have a lot of arrows, so why don't we grab one of those arrows, and I know this isn't going to really match right now, but it's just as a reminder. So we'll put that in there, and then we'll put the stone sword in there, and if I put those 2 back, those 2 specifically should match once I set this to be an insert. There we go. And hopefully those guys, did I uncheck? I did not. There we go. And those 2 are gone. So, which is great. So now the infrastructure's set up so that I can void anything I need to, and I've got another legendary bag. 3 more that have dropped here, which is crazy that they're actually dropping. And I got another ender, but we've moved on beyond that. Another chance cube and some obsidian. Nothing special there. And another jade. Oh, one more. And we've got some more obsidian. The specter iron, which is kind of fun. And another one of these white stones. We've gotten quite a few of them. Okay, so that's awesome. Now, what I've also done over here is I have set up an infinite water. And so if we look up the recipe for that, that was a little interesting to create. I was looking for a block like this, and that's what I really wanted, was just a single block that creates infinite water, and I found it in magnetic craft. But magnetic craft requires a bit of an infrastructure to set up. Now it's just 4 buckets, some glass, but then this machine housing. Machine housing uses carbide ingots. Well, the carbide ingots, and a stone, right, and some iron, but a carbide ingot just takes a tungsten and some iron around it, and it makes 8 of them. So that was really easy. I just needed 4 of them. So I've got 4 carbide left over. Make this, get out of here, make this infinite water. I hooked up our iron pipes, which are nice and cheap and we've been using all over. Funnel them in here to a oak barrel and all good. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to grab some sand because I want to make soul sand. What am I doing over here? So let's grab some sand, and I've got a whole bunch of oak drawers and drawer controller compacting drawers, not necessarily for this project, but we're going to leverage one of those. Those guys can be, I forgot to whitelist that, but I'll go back and do that in a minute. And I did get a necrotic bone, which is pretty cool. Don't know how that got in my inventory, but all good, and good enough for right now. So let's go over here, and we will right on top of here, I'm going to put down one of these guys, and we'll throw that right there. And in the top left, I'm going to put that, and then coming out of here, I'm going to dump it in here, and these guys will be insert, and these guys will be insert, and this will be insert, so that when we extract that, it will automatically make soul sand. Now I'm going to dig out underneath here, and I'm not going to be able to get much under here unless I go down further. There we go. 2 and 3, and then we will place more of these conduits, and it's going to be challenging getting to those, but I think I can. Good. And extract, yes. And oh yeah, that's right, I gotta get out of here this way. And then let me just craft some of these back up so I can fill it back up. And there, and oh, I'm gonna need that one out. Some thinking. And then we'll put one more of these here, and then we'll put the drawer on top. And it's going to be challenging getting to that, so we can go right here. And remember, our trick with the wrench is, hopefully this one will allow me to do it. Nope, it won't. So no problem. I'll just go down here, and I don't know if I can actually, maybe I can just, there we go. That looked to be right. And we are getting, we get a free hand. There's 3 right there. Looks good. And when that fills back up with witch water, that'll just be an automated, no compromised solution for creating soul sand. And that, of course, needs to be filled up manually with sand as of right now. But I'm not too worried about that. I don't need a lot. There we go. It looks all nice and compact and pretty. And then we have the rest of these in case we need to make some more dirt. Now I could also automate these, but frankly we don't need a lot of dirt. It's going to be things like, you know, more mob areas, spawning areas for chickens and cows and such, or pigs I mean. But let me just make sure this, I've got the setting correct on here. Yes, it is. It's now flowing. So that'll slowly work its way and do that. Now the rest of this over here, I just want to show you that, remember I put 1 stack of gravel, 1 stack of sand, and 1 stack of dust in here, and that has produced a whole bunch of goodness out of there. And these guys still have a, you know, their excess stuff, and I've got things like lapis lazuli in there. That doesn't produce any byproducts. This had bone meal, and of course I'm going to get blaze powder and redstone. So we need to get those out, and that's how we're going to do that. Is, let me get this out of my inventory. We're going to put not a compacting drawer, the drawer controller here first. And I'm going to start it right here. And then I'm going to probably have my compacting drawers first. So I think I want to do right there. I'll go 3 high, 2, 3, and right there. Good. And this will be for all of our metals. And what I planned on doing is locking this and then selectively putting them in. And I've got a whole bunch of, oop, not that. Give me the whole back. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. All right. So I also made a drawer key, and you can right click on here and double click, shift right click, left click. Well, I thought I could do that. There we go. It just wasn't. So it locked every single one of them. And what I'll be able to do then is connect this with one of these guys. And let's put that in there. And I'm going to insert on this, but nothing will go in yet because everything's locked. And I'm going to start populating this. But the first thing I want to do is I want to get the exceptions, things like Certus quartz blocks. And I'm going to put that in the compacting drawers so that, let's get this all out of our way. I shouldn't need that anymore, and I might need this. Let's do that. Okay. And then the other thing I want is this bone meal bag, and we'll get the blaze powder when it's done. So I don't want this in the beginning, but I'm going to put that right there. And so that'll help me get back and forth between regular Certus quartz and blocks. And so now anytime that gets one of those blocks, and so let's grab one of those, or a few of them, and see it's still locked. Oh yeah, that's right, I can't throw it back in there, but that's okay. If I also export here, which I don't need to right now, that will start filling this out. So I guess I can't show that right now, but once we get some more things flowing in there, same thing with the bone meal bag. Now the bone meal bag it would be nice to put it in here because it will bring back the actual bone meal. So I think I'm going to leverage one of the compacting drawers for that. And then let's see, anything else? Yes, lapis lazuli and blocks of coal for sure. We want those guys. Again, coal is going to be a little bit more important, but I'll put it right there. And then lapis, definitely very important. We love that. And I think that's it, right? Everything is out of there. Good. And now we can just start populating this all with that. Now, this skystone block is really very useless. If we look at the uses, it's building blocks, right? And then the ME controller, you actually need these blocks. So you pretty much make one, and then you're done. I don't really need to use it for anything else. So I might just put up a trash can and dump this out. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, now doesn't that look pretty? All right, so I did have to make one more compacting drawer just to house the redstone, and I've been watching this to see if there's anything left down here, and that was one of them, the redstone. So that should hopefully capture it over here instead of going in here. In fact, it does occasionally get stuck in here, so I might have to set this a higher priority here, but we'll monitor it closely and see. There's also flint that's left over in here, and some of these other things. Yellorium can't be compacted, and then with the Certus quartz and so on. So we might run another line right over here and feed them in and create sections here, but we'll deal with that in a minute. But what I wanted to do is, we're producing enough electricity right now, or RF, just fine, but I wanted to show you something here. So if you notice the basic capacitor bank, in a normal pack, it's 1 million RF, and it's nice and cheap to make. Here it's only 250,000, that is. If we go to the second level of capacitor bank, it's normally 5 million, and here it's only 750,000. So drastically less. It's a little frustrating, but if you look at the high end, it's 500 million RF. Holy crap. Well, the recipe must be really tough, right? No, it's pretty much the same thing. It's 4 electrical steel, 4 octadic capacitors, and this vibrant crystal. And we pretty much have all of that. So I'm thinking we're going to make that. Let's see how many we can make. I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this to make. I'm hoping. Let's see. I need 2 of those. Yeah. And then we will put those in the center and put this recipe around here. There we go. And we'll make 2 of those. And we'll put that back there. And then this recipe right here, we're going to need to work our way down through the octadic capacitors and a double layer and a single layer. And that's this recipe here. So let's see. I don't remember how many. There's 10. Let's see. I need 2, 4. So I think I need 8. We'll go ahead and make 12 for right now. And then we need the second level, which is right here, and it uses this energetic alloy, of which I have a few right here. So let's make a few of those. Let's make 4 of them, and I really am running out of space. Let's take out the iron bars for right now. We'll put those back in, and then lastly is the third tier, and that goes here. Oh, I need the glowstone blocks, which is, I've got a couple of them here. It's good enough for right now, and we'll take out blocks of iron. Let's see, 1, 2, and should be plenty. Wait, I swear I just made 4 more. Yeah, well, okay, fine. Which is enough for what we need. Let's see, yep, that's the 500 million one, and we're going to need that. And, oh, I need the electrical steel in there now. Good. And that brings that up, and so I'm going to want to make a couple more of the regular octadic capacitors. So I do have that, and let's see, we'll need, I think we just need 2. Boy, this math, it's the math stuff. It's tough. And then I need 1 more, and then there we go. Hey, what am I missing? Oh, Oh, energized steel. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. All right, well, that's good enough for right now. I'll come back and make that second one. So what I had planned on doing is, hey, bud. What I planned on doing is putting right in here. I want to put actually, here in the 1710 or 1710 pack, we can actually right-click with our, I want that back, right-click with our wrench, and that replaces it. And so what I can do is I can place that about right there. And that will start filling up. And I want to make sure that the back is input, the side is input, and then the bottom is output. There we go. And so that kind of is a buffer now. And we don't have anything going down here, which is exactly what I wanted. I just want it to connect here. If I had the configurator, I believe I could disable this, but I can't do that with the wrench, right? I can't disable it. So we'll get towards a configurator soon. So the only other thing I wish I had is, and I might want to move this, I think I will, is because now if I put, let's get this out of here, and we do that, I can now see the capacity at a glance. And then I'll probably just place that right there. And that's cool. Yep, perfect. I did throw some flint in here. Of course, we still have our octadic capacitor. We'll work towards dark steel balls and put those in there. But for right now, flint's good enough. So there we go. So now we're building up a buffer, and roughly 320, showing 317 to 320, and that'll fill up when this is not in use. The next episode we'll come back and we'll work on automating this. Now I haven't been following the book much, and if you notice, so I've been looking around here. We did complete one quest, which is good. We did make compacting drawers, which is excellent. And give me a second. If you don't want to know, look away. All right, and let's open that bag, see what we got. Transfer node for liquids. Not bad, not bad. We could use that, over, well, we can use it pretty much anywhere we have liquids, so not bad, not bad. Well, guys, it's about wrapping up time, so we will bid our farewell here. And let's go back over here. Yeah, let's get a nice pretty shot of all of our ores. This is the backwards walk. Oh no, where'd they go? Another interesting bug. They're there, but not like this. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate the watches, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a like right down there. And if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate a subscribe. It helps out with those pesky YouTube search results and all kinds of other things. Hey, there they are. All right, I can see it. Yay! Woo! Okay, guys. I will see you in the next episode. Talk to you later. Bye!